WGN Sports.
From Progressive Field in Cleveland, Ohio, where tonight WGN Sports presents White Sox baseball. It's Avi Garcia, Todd Frazier, Jose Abreu, and the Sox as they get set to butt heads with Francisco Lindor, Jason Kipnis, and the Cleveland Indians. Hi, everybody, and welcome. I'm Ken Harrelson with Steve Stone as we get set to bring you the first of this three-game set. As you know, we played that three-game series down at Tampa Bay, and yesterday, we were trailing 6-0. This is a good indication of this ball club. We've been seeing it more and more and more, Steve. Good indication of our ball club, trailing 6-0, and we get to the point in the top of the ninth, one swing of the bat, we could have won that ball game. But we had a little offense in that game last evening.
We did indeed, and unfortunately, it wasn't a good Tampa Bay series, but a couple of guys are starting to heat it up, and they're hitting the ball out of the ballpark. So we'll take a look at Avi. He killed a couple in Tampa, and Todd Frazier, in front of his parents, had a pretty good series also. So take a look at what they did. 4 for 11 for Todd. For Avi, 4 for 12. They both hit a couple of home runs. Todd drove in 3. Avi drove in 4. Todd scored 2. Avi scored 3. So the boys are starting to heat it up at the right time because they're playing the Indians, and the Indians, as you know, went to the World Series last year.
Well, the Indians, their starting pitching has been very spotty. Now, their bullpen is still outstanding. They're second in the major leagues, and when leading after 6 innings, and guess who's first? We are 20-0, only undefeated team in the category. But they're just not scoring as many runs as they did last year.
They brought in Edwin Encarnacion, thinking that he could certainly make up for the departure of Mike Napoli. Then we'll take a look at what happened after 57 games, and you'll see he hasn't really picked it up. Home runs, Napoli after 57 had 4 more. Runs batted in, Napoli had 20 more. Runs scored, he had 14 more. And doubles, he had 6 more. So although they believe that Encarnacion is going to heat it up, he hasn't quite yet. However, they're very concerned, as Hawk said, about the starting pitching, and they're very concerned about the fact that they can't win here at Progressive Field. They're under 500.
Wow, I didn't know that. Anyway, they've got one of the best right-handers in the game when he is going top of his game, and that is Kluber.
Corey Kluber, last time out, after missing a month with a bad back, last time out against Oakland, he was absolutely brilliant, and you know how good Kluber is. He's the ace of this staff. He's against Miguel Gonzalez. Now, Miguel Gonzalez, career-wise, is good against the Indians. Only last time out against the Tigers, he wasn't particularly good. Lately, the curveball's been hanging. He hasn't had a whole lot of location. And unfortunately for Gonzo, things aren't going very well. But for Corey Kluber, just coming back, he is doing quite a job. The curveball, magnificent. Everything against Oakland was just terrific. Now, we don't know exactly how long he's going to go, this just being his second start after missing a month. But we'll take a look at head-to-head. 4-1 against the Tribe is Gonzalez. Corey Kluber, 7-4. The ERA is pretty good. Kluber in the low 3s. There you look at the batting average against. Pretty good for Kluber, not that good for Gonzo. So hopefully tonight the boys can pick up on this road trip because so far it hasn't been a good one.
Well, let's have some fun tonight. It could be a fun game to watch. So sit back, relax, and strap it down. White Sox baseball coming your way. White Sox baseball is brought to you by your Chicago and Northwest Indiana Hyundai dealers. Stop by today and visit buyhyundai.com and see why Hyundai better drives us. By State Farm, here to help life go right. By Meyer, true Chicago fans. By Ford, inviting you to visit your local Ford store. By FordNow.com. And by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. And by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois. Choose Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, the card to carry through it all. And by Honda. Great deals awaiting for you now at your local Honda dealer.
Welcome back to Progressive Field. Home Field Facts brought to you by Ryan Kelly. Cleveland Indians of the 1990s featured some great players who went to 2 World Series and won 5 straight Central Division titles. Take a look at some of the biggest names who ended up playing for the White Sox after leaving the Indians. Albert Bell had a monster year for the Sox in 1998. Jim Thome slugged 134 homers in parts of 4 years with the Sox, including his 500th in 2007. And Bartolo Colon won 15 games in 2003. Ryan Kelly, the HomeLoanExpert.com. Stay with us. Tonight's first pitch is coming up. It's going to rain too long, but as you can see, it is raining now. The tarp is on the field. The update from the Indians is that the game is delayed due to weather and that they're in touch with the Weather Bureau, and stay tuned for further updates. We will keep you posted as to when this game is going to start. In the meantime, with this delay, we're going to take you back to Chicago and the WGN News. America runs on Duncan. Larry Garcia leading it off, playing second base tonight. Then it's Melky and Jose and Abisail in right field. Todd Frazier, who's hitting it hard recently, with Omar Narvaez catching. Then it's Anderson, Davidson, and Engel rounding it out. The defense, and how they'll line up behind Corey Kluber, Michael Brantley, Bradley Zimmer, and Lonnie Chisenhall in the outfield with Jose Ramirez, Francisco Lindor, Jason Kipnis, and Carlos Santana in the infield. Yan Gomes gets a nod behind the plate, and Corey Kluber on the hill. Lost a month to some back stiffness and soreness, but he's back. He's 4-2. His ERA a lot higher than Kluber is used to at 4.36. Opponent's batting average at 2.44, and as usual, a wonderful walk to strikeout ratio. The umpires for the game tonight: Jordan Baker, a king-sized umpire at home plate. Bruce Dreckman is at first. Mike Everett is at second, and Ryan Blackney is at third. Corey Kluber's got a great curveball. He had no control issues when he made his first start after the DL. That was against Oakland. Oakland, one of those teams that swings at just about everything. In fact, in 2 of the games of their 4-game series, they struck out 19 and 17 times respectively. And they're second in most strikeouts in the American League, behind the team we just left, the Tampa Bay Rays. So Kluber appears ready to go. They'll throw the ball around the infield, which means we're ready to play baseball. And that means I'm ready to turn it over to my play-by-play partner, Ken Harrelson.
All right, Stoney, thank you. And once again, good evening, everyone, and welcome to White Sox baseball right here over WGN Sports. So happy you could join us for the first of this 3-game set. Sox having a tough road trip record-wise, but really have not played with it. Well, they have. 2 games we stunk. Yeah, the rest of them we played pretty good.
Yeah. Just came up a little short.
Yeah, but they won't quit. Ricky's boys will not quit. So here is Liuri. And Kluber, you know, to me, Kluber, and you get guys like Kluber, Jake Arrieta, when they're healthy and they're right, 2 of the best right-handers in the game. So when you get a guy like that, you got to have a plan. You go up there looking for the ball, and you're going to go 0 for 4.
Well, hopefully he doesn't get you in a situation where he can wipe you out with that curveball, because it's a tight, quick-breaking, late-breaking curveball.
One down.
That didn't take long. 3 pitches, 1 strikeout, and 3 different pitches. That's a change. And it's not a new pitch to the arsenal of Corey Kluber. He's just using it a bit more.
So here's Cabrera. Takes first pitch, strike. And here's a perfect example, Stoney, of when you get a guy like him, you cannot let him pitch at his pace. You have got to step out. You have got, because there's a off the glove, and that's not going to get the job done.
Well, that most likely will mean the no-hitter is by the boards.
Yeah, that high hop, that's definitely a base hit. And it is a single.
Ramirez, a good third baseman. He's a shortstop by trade. We've seen him at second base quite a bit, and tonight playing third.
But as a hitter against Kluber, you got to take charge. You got to get yourself a sense of control at that batter's box, and you can't just stand there and wait till he wants to throw the ball. You got to make him change a little bit.
Anything you can do to disrupt his rhythm, because normally it's really good.
Exactly. Anything. You got to try to, well, I can't use that word because of the youngsters out there, but that's what you got to try to do to him. Abreu came up a little gimpy last night in that game. I asked him after the game if he's okay, and he said yeah. Slowly hit. The only play is going to be to first base, so 2 down. All right, let's check out our picks to click. There you see the fans went with Omar. Crew's going with Ty. Steve's going Leary. And Mike Mazza and his crew. He had his own, everybody. We're going to go with Ivy.
Kluber originally drafted by San Diego Padres. They got him in the 4th round. That was back in 2007. Got traded here to the Indians in a 3-way deal. The big guy sent in that one was Jake Westbrook from the Indians to St. Louis. But the Indians very happy with that deal.
Well, Jed Hoyer was the GM out of San Diego, and Jed said that's one of the deals he really regrets. But Jed, you can't feel bad, buddy. If you don't make any bad ones, that means you're not doing your job.
I was going to say, after the fact, I mean, look, you're going to make some deals that don't work out real well. When he made it, he was pretty comfortable with it, because at that point, Kluber had been in their organization for 5 years and hadn't really set the league on fire.
I remember when they got him, I said, who the heck is this guy?
I mean, you're looking at some years where 7-9, 2-5, 6-6, 7-11, and then all of a sudden comes to the Indians, and it's miraculous.
That fastball at 93. One and one to count. Yes, sir. Any manager general manager, he thinks he's going to make all good trades. They got another thing coming. Well, he's a 4-pitch pitcher, and he can get them all over, and that's the end of that story.
Yeah, the only time really he's had some problems at all has been when he's been somewhat nicked up, which is not the case right now. He's entirely healthy. Last year went 18-9 in the area of 314.
After a half inning of play, it's our guys nothing, and their guys coming to bat.
It's Cleveland Indians. It's Jason Kipnis, Francisco Lindor, and Michael Brantley at the top, with Santana, Encarnacion, and Ramirez in the middle. Then Lonnie Chisenhall, Yan Gomes, and the rookie Bradley Zimmer in center field, hitting 9th. The defense, and how they'll line up behind Miguel Gonzalez. It's Melky, Adam, and Abasail in the outfield, with Todd Frazier, Tim Anderson, Leori Garcia, and Jose Abreu in the infield. Omar Narvaez gets a nod behind the plate. And Miguel Gonzalez on the hill. Last time out against Detroit, did not throw it very well. Looking for his 5th win in this, his 12th start.
Well, that start against the Tigers, every time he made a mistake, they didn't pop it up or ground it out. They hit it hard.
No, you have. I mean, you get some streaks where that's going to happen, and other times you make some mistakes and guys will ground it out or pop it up.
I told Derek Holland that before the game today. We were talking, and I said, Derek, don't worry about a thing, because of the fact you're in one of those streaks right now. Every time it's a close pitch, the umpire gives it to the hitter. Every time they get a little flare, it falls in, and you go through those streaks. That ball hit into the gap. Nobody's going to get it. So Kipnis off with a double.
8th double of the year for Kipnis. He crushes this ball, and the Indians just aren't hitting it well, and they're not hitting it well here at home. They're just 12-14 at Progressive Field, and they've got to get Jason Kipnis starting to heat it up, because at 226 we've seen him a whole lot better than that.
Well, here's Lindor, switch hitting shortstop. He's a star now and going forward to become a superstar.
Numbers strong, but batting average, he can do better than that, and he knows that.
Yeah, he will before the season's over. Offense on the team is contagious. Encarnacion, if he were hitting and had big numbers going up right now, you'd see the rest of these guys with better numbers as well.
Well, they got him over here to pick up the slack with a departed Mike Napoli, and so far just hasn't done it, but he's going to hit because he always has.
To the count. Well, the Indians' 25-man roster is without question the strongest in the Central Division. Now, does that mean they're going to win? No.
They'd like to get a little more consistency from their starting pitching, which is somewhat unusual because last year they were awfully good.
That ball into left center field. Melky making the call. There's the tag. He's not going anywhere, as Melky can throw. So that is 1 out. And a reminder that you can see your name in lights at an upcoming White Sox game. You can celebrate a birthday, an anniversary, and more with a scoreboard message. Now, proceeds benefit White Sox charity, so to book your message, visit whitesox.com/scoreboard. And Jeff Chanel and his crew, they'll do right by you. Here's Brantley, 296, 5 homers, 24 knocked in.
Average-wise, he hasn't dropped off a bit. Power, not quite what it was before he was injured. Kipnis normally very aggressive on the base paths. This year, a bit of an exception. He's stolen 2 bases, been caught 1 time. The Indians, as a team, just don't run a great deal. 26 stolen bases. They've been caught 11 times. Terry Francona with Brad Mills to his left. Brad Mills has been with Terry Francona for a long time, and Terry, one of the best managers in baseball, and has been for a long time. Carlos Santana in the on-deck circle. As usual for him, not much of a batting average, but he walks a lot, gets on base a lot, and can put a charge into it from the left side.
There's a strike. And there's a base hit. They're going to wave him around. Decent throw's going to get him, but it's not.
Melky had his shot and perhaps a one-hop throw, and he's going to throw him out, and he's going to throw him out by plenty. But he airmails Narvaez. We'll watch it again. He's got a shot as Brantley drives in run number 25. This ball just sails on Melky, and no chance. He takes second on the throw, so it's a base hit, run batted in, and an early Indian lead. That's something they don't do a lot of, and that's driving in runs with runners in scoring position. This year, a .218 team batting average. That's 29th in the major leagues.
Breaking ball strike. Those Rockies, they're playing some good baseball. Second day in a row they beat the Cubs.
Rockies are a really good team.
They're 40-23.
Yeah, I talked with one of the owners, spent a great deal of time with him in the offseason. He told me that they've got some good young pitching. They don't know how ready it is, but he felt their lineup was as strong as anybody's in the National League. And you know, when you look down at it, with Story healthy at shortstop and Arenado at third, what people don't talk about is the great defense that the Rockies have. But the Indians were very impressed with the Rockies, and justifiably so.
I don't know about the Story, but Arenado's hard to beat.
Leary. So Brantley in the third, 2 down.
Here is very likely the key to this entire ball club, and it's Edwin Encarnacion, who doesn't have good numbers to this point, but he's starting to swing the bat a bit better. Because he's had such wonderful numbers over the last 5 years, you would expect that he's going to break out of it.
Pretty good pitch, didn't get it. Boy, it's great to see Greg Holland back
After that great career he had in Kansas City, and all of a sudden an injury.
He's not only back.
Seemingly was going to be out of the game. Now 23 saves.
23 saves, throwing just about as hard as he did before.
High pop up. Tied. But they get on the board, lead off double, then the RBI single. And it's 1-0 bad guys.
Series, you realize why it's tied at 3-3. Almost remarkable Same amount of hits coming into the game tonight. Same amount of runs. The ERA is almost identical. The Indians have hit more home runs than our Sox, but head to head, not much to choose from.
So here's Frazier. It'll be Frazier, Narvaez, and Anderson. Todd, 10 homers, 28 knocked in. He's still fouling off a lot of pretty good pitches to hit, but not as many as before.
You said you felt, and I know Todd feels the same way, that he's pretty close to.
He's close.
Some consistent power.
He's not there yet, but he's getting there. He's getting close. Even though he's hit 4 home runs in the last 6 games.
Yeah. And had 3 hits last night, including the 2-run homer, had a couple of singles.
There's a strike. And to count 1 and 2. Yeah, he turned that 99-mile-an-hour fastball from Stanek around in a hurry. Even though we are under 500, I've enjoyed watching this club play.
The fact that it comes back makes it an exciting team. We would both like to see them play a little tighter defense. Ricky Renteria certainly would, but Ricky's happy in a couple of different areas. Number one, the hustle, which has been very good all season long, and that's one thing that he's talked about and one thing that he's going to make sure happens.
I'm getting ready to say that's not an issue anymore.
No,
that issue is past.
Yeah. They play hard and they play all 27 outs.
Well, the 2 things that a manager has to have is, first of all, control of that lineup card. That's number 1.
Sometimes today you don't see that.
Exactly right.
Yeah, you don't see it.
And number 2 is not to feel, but to know that that club is going to give him 27 outs a game. Those 2 things he has to have in order to build going forward. That's up high. And Rick Renteria's got both of those.
Yes. Kluber has enough confidence to throw a breaking ball with a full count.
Watch out.
He threw it and did not throw a strike.
Good at bat for Todd. And you can join us at Guaranteed Rate Field as our Sox take on the Oakland A's on Sunday, June 25th. Now, it's Southpaw's birthday, and the first 7,500 kids will receive a Southpaw bobblehead presented by Mercury, Chicago's Skyline Cuisine. So visit WhiteSox.com to purchase your tickets today. Here's Narvaez. Takes that fastball off the plate.
You're probably not going to see it because Rick Renteria hasn't done it a whole lot. But this is the ideal combination for the hit and run, because you got a pitcher who throws strikes, you got a hitter who makes contact. Omar doesn't run well, so if you do run with Todd, stay out of the double play and a ground ball.
Well, that's the thing. The ideal, in the perfect world, the ideal hit and run situation was the guy who's not a speed burner at first.
Yeah. Todd will wait and see if Kluber gives him that walking lead.
Oh, he's going to get a Lance Johnson jump if he can. And that is popped up. Get out of here. And it's trying to come back, but it won't.
Well, very close to this ballpark. The Cavaliers playing the Warriors in Game 4.
There it is. We can hit a driver and a wedge there.
will be very lively in the not too distant future.
That's nasty.
Backdoor breaking ball, and it's tough to look for a curveball. It's also very tough when it starts in the right-handed batter's box and snaps over the outside corner at the last instant. Very difficult to just have a straight running game on Yan Gomes, because this year he's thrown out 50% of the base stealers who've tried to steal against him.
That's almost unheard of.
In this day and age, it sure is. Both Gomes and Perez throw real well. Perez, the backup catcher.
Well, most of the time, too, is the pitchers over the years have become worse and worse. Holding guys on, keeping them getting good leads.
You got to have some help. You can have the best arm around. If you're getting a three-step jump, then you're not going to throw them out.
Stick it in your pocket. Good eye. Omar, one of the better eyes on our ball club.
You would expect that Todd would be going. He did not go.
If it was me, I'd have sent him.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Because a ground ball is going to be 2.
And that's into center field. So 1 out.
Somewhat surprising that both Minnesota and Cleveland leading the division. Minnesota 12-18 at home. Cleveland 12-14 at home. And that's been a surprising thing. The Indians also in the Central, they're 13-14. So they're just not doing a whole lot of the things they did last year. But you would expect with the configuration of this ball club that they would break out of it here sometime soon. They're a good team. Just not playing well.
Well, as I said, they're the best team in this division, but that does not mean they're going to win it.
Minnesota decides to get one more bullpen arm and one more starter. With that lineup they put out there, they can make it pretty interesting for this entire season.
Anderson hitting at .258, 6 homers, 17 knocked in.
That's what it looks like. The Indians a game and a half back. Detroit with a big offense, 2.5 games back, and then Kansas City and our Sox.
To the count. This is the last guy, last right-hander in this league you want to be 0-2 against.
Well, especially if you are a frequent swinging young hitter.
That breaking ball popped up into right field. Chisenhall's got it. 2 down. Here's double jeopardy with Kluber on the mound as far as Matt goes. Matt's been chasing the high fastball up out of the zone. So you got to say make him get it down. But if you make Kluber get it down, and all of a sudden with that breaking stuff he's got, that's double jeopardy.
He's got a good cutter. His cutter slider combination is very good. The curveball is excellent, and his command of it made him a Cy Young Award winner.
He's probably going to have more check swings, or as many certainly from right-handed hitters in this league as any right-hander in the league. Well, there was a pretty good pitch to hit, and he fouled it back.
Throws it over the outside part of the plate. This was supposed to be a cutter and didn't do a whole lot. It's kind of stayed there, and Matt fouled it off the end of the bat.
And he is got a big zone right now. He knew it. So we're at the bottom of the second inning, trailing 1-0. One nothing Tribe here in the bottom of the second. Here's Ramirez. Takes first pitch strike. Last year, this guy could have been voted MVP on this ball club.
Well, they felt that he was their most valuable player from start of the season to finish. It was a remarkable year.
He's hitting .298, homers, 27 knocked in.
He's a much better left-hand hitter, .310 as opposed to .256. 6 of his 8 home runs and 18 of his 27 runs batted in left-handed.
That ball hit high into right center field. Angle is there. So that is out number one. And a reminder, our 2017 Chicago White Sox are presented by Guaranteed Rate. Your mortgage, your way. Go to rate.com for a low, low rate. Here's Chisenhall starting to climb a little bit the scale of achieving his potential. He's hitting .274, 7 homers, 23 knocked in, but he's better than that talent-wise. Now, does that mean he's going to get it done? No. We're seeing that more and more because we're seeing, I tell you, unless you've got a lot of talent in today's game, with all the talent that's coming into this league, you're not going to be in the lineup. You're going to have some talent. Now, does that mean you're going to fulfill it? No.
Well, Chisenhall, former #1 draft pick, last year average-wise hit .286. Power numbers weren't great, just 8 home runs, 57 driven in. But he's made the conversion. He was a third baseman, and he's not going to play that here. But they put him in the outfield, and he's done a really nice job of adjusting to right field. He's got a strong arm, as most third basemen do, so that aspect of it, throwing from right field, is no problem.
Well, I've seen him on the highlight film, reels, I should say, a couple times this year with just tremendous catches.
Yeah, he's been a whole lot better. Early, that conversion wasn't as smooth as it is now.
One, two.
Omar wanted it upstairs, and Miguel got it there, but he fouled it back.
Nice crowd on hand. They're averaging 21,154, but got more than that tonight. Full count. And the payoff pitch. That's popped up. Melky. Hey, we got a blimp. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear, leading the way with tires that deliver superior performance in clutch situations. Goodyear, more driven. You ever been up on a blimp?
I haven't.
Me either.
You want to broadcast from a blimp?
I'll give it a go if you will.
Well, I'll tell you what. Just in case something happens, like, you know, the Hindenburg or something, I'll stay down here and, you know, ready to pick you up in case there's a problem.
Well, it's like that guy said, you know, you really don't need a parachute to jump out. Once.
That's it.
2-0 the count to Yan Gomes. Yan hitting at .238, 4 homers and 13.
Until he got banged up and hurt at the plate, has had assorted other injuries, but he was looking like he was going to be one of the better catchers around. Defensively, he still is.
Watch out. 3-0. Come back and get it.
Gomes hit .294 in 2013, .278 in 2014. And he had 24 home runs. I mean, this was a quality hitter.
So the 2-out walk. And that'll bring up the 9th place hitter, Bradley Zimmer.
You're going to like this fella because he is a king-size center fielder with great speed. He was their #1 prospect. Clint Frazier went to the Yankees. They kept Bradley Zimmer, and because of injuries, he is up a little sooner than they would like, but he has a lot of skills.
He's 6'5", 220.
Big man.
$16 homers in 2015, 15 homers last year.
He's just 24 years old, so he's got some filling out to do.
Leary. And that'll retire the side. They still lead at 1-0.
At WGNTV.com, presented by Nationwide's Jeff Vukovich. Go to jeffvuk.com or follow him on social media, because Nationwide is on your side.
That'll bring up Adam Engel to lead it off for us here in the top of the third inning. 1-0 Indians. This is going to be some of the best stuff that this young man has seen in his short professional career.
There is no doubt about that.
Look at this, a Kansas City special right off the end of the bat. Yes. Atta boy. Atta.
Time now for our Mazda replay cam. He gets it off the end of the bat and dumps it over Santana's head. Good way to start the third inning. Good speed aboard.
Very good speed aboard. He's got a good lead. Kluber with a good move. Two fastest guys for us on the field now, with Engel at first and Leury at the plate.
Corey Kluber is as good as he is because off-speed pitches for a strike over 71% of the time. That is number one of 190 qualified pitchers. That number is pretty much unbelievable. When you can throw either the slider, the curveball, or the straight change for a strike just about 3/4 of the time, you're going to put hitters in bad situations.
As I said, I don't know about the National League, but if it's, well, one of them I do, but two pitchers, right-handers I'm talking about, you always have to qualify, because that's out number one. If I had to take another look at the strikeout, but two right-handers in baseball, if they're healthy, that I'd have pitch a game, the important game for me would be Kluber and Arrieta.
I think this year Jake is just not throwing as well as he has in years past.
Well, it's hard to throw as well as many pitches too as he's thrown the past couple of years. There's a throw down. He's safe.
Nice job of backing up by Jason Kipnis, because the throw was low, was not a good pitch to handle, and Adam got a great jump. Kluber goes to the high leg kick, does not use the slide step, and there was really very little chance to get him. Not a good throw. And Kipnis right there.
Pick him up, Melky. 1-2-0 for them. 0-2-0 for us if you're just tuning in.
That is 4 stolen bases in the very young career of Adam Engel. 4 for 4.
And there's the base hit. He had to hold up slightly, but now they're going to turn him loose, and here's the throw. Safe, and this game is tied at 1. Yes.
It's RBI number 32 for Melky, who's 2 for 2. And he got a changeup. He went down and got it. It's a good pitch. He just takes it into right field. With the speed of Engel, the only way he could have scored. The reason is that he had to hold up, trying to make the line drive go through, and then even if Gomes corrals it, Engel is going to beat the play at the plate.
Well, that was a good piece of base running, because he did indeed make sure the ball went over Santana. Now he's at second. I love, from our standpoint, that changeup in that situation, rather than that slider down and in or that fastball up.
Not a big fan of very early in the count the straight change.
Not in big situations.
No, I just as soon see, slider, cutter, curveball.
Well, if you take his fastball, and you take his curveball, and you take his slider, and you take his change, the fourth best pitch he's got is his change.
Yeah, that's the one you want to hit if you have your choice. But Corey Kluber is something, and people don't realize that there's only one pitch when it comes out of your hand that goes up. Every other pitch, when it leaves the pitcher's hand, it goes down. That's the slider, the change, the fastball, the cutter. But a curveball, when it leaves your hand, it goes up. And if a hitter can read that, you've got some problems. But Kluber's, the spin is so tight, even though it does go up a touch, you can't recognize it as quickly.
You never hear this talked about today, but in years past, there are a lot of hitters that hit off that.
Yeah, I mean, if you watch the pitcher's hand and you see the ball go up, it's got to be a curveball.
That's exactly what they went to.
There's no other pitch that goes up.
When that pitch started off high, they go curveball in their own mind. I'll tell you a guy who did that at a young age, a very young age, and he was the first ever draft choice.
Rick Monday?
Yes.
Out of Arizona State.
There's ball 4. So a 1-1 tie, and that'll bring up Bobby, who struck out at his first triple. Yeah, Rick. Well, what a player he turned out to be. He was a good one for a long time.
Yes, he was. He had big power opposite way. He was a left-hand hitter, big power to left center field.
But that's not what he's remembered for.
No, saving the flag.
Yeah. That's back through the middle and into center field for a base hit. Here comes Melky. They're waving him around. And that's a throw to the plate. And they get it.
Well, we told you Bradley Zimmer can do a lot of things, and one of them is throw the baseball. It's a lot more difficult for the center fielder to throw out would-be base runners, would-be run scorers because of the mound. You've got to do one of two things. You either have to airmail the mound or skip it before the mound, and that's what he did. Now he takes it back up the middle. The ball is not hit particularly hard. Melky doesn't have great speed, and the throw right there on 2 hops, it is perfect. And again, center fielder has a problem when he is throwing straight to the catcher and has the mound involved. It makes it a lot more difficult to throw it.
I'm a little shocked he threw him out.
As am I. But that's a strong arm.
And a perfect throw. So here's Todd. He walked leading off last inning. And there's a base hit. He's not going to throw out Abreu.
Not from there, no. He might have had a shot.
There's two things it's hard to do. It's hard to throw out somebody sitting on your behind, and it's hard to hit somebody on your behind.
That's for sure.
2-1, good guys.
Well, Zimmer was thinking about 2 in the same inning, and unfortunately his feet did not cooperate. That's a hanging slider. And Todd drives in his 29th as Zimmer goes over, and then whoops.
Todd's getting close. As I mentioned earlier, it's not hitting good pitches. It's hitting mistakes hard. That's when you're getting close. You hit those mistakes hard rather than pop them up, ground them out, or swing and miss in some cases.
This is Kluber's second start back off the disabled list, and the stuff is just not quite as sharp here tonight. And that's to be expected. because the arm is not quite as strong for the second performance as it was for the first.
Don't stop now, boys. Pick him up. Omar popped up to center field his first trip. Oh, and 2 the count.
Give you an idea of just one subtle change for Kluber. Last year, 32 starts, he averaged less than 2 walks per start. He's got 2 walks early in this one, and one Abreu has come back to score. Mickey Callaway, an excellent pitching coach for these Indians, has been for a while. Certainly has a great bullpen to work with. Starting rotation this year, very inconsistent for the Indians.
Jacks it up. Jacks it up. Two out, 1 and 2 the count. Runners at the corners with 2 in. We've seen some extended at-bats from Omar since he's been in the Sox uniform.
His command of the strike zone for a young hitter was excellent from the time that we saw him.
Terrific.
Just a great command, and very rarely will swing at a bad pitch.
Checks it up.
Narvaez coming into action tonight had fanned just 14 times in 90 at bats, and he'd walked 15 times. And trying to find guys with more walks than strikeouts is a very difficult thing to do.
Good eye.
There were 2 very close pitches that a lot of guys would have swung at. And the last 2, he just looked at them, and that was it. Didn't even offer.
Probably 95% of hitters will swing close.
Tim in the on-deck circle. If Omar can keep it alive.
Fouls that one away.
Cleveland, if you can get that bullpen before they can use Allen or Miller or Shaw, then you're going to be in good shape. When Terry Francona gets down to those 3 guys, that's when the offense usually ends.
Ground ball, good play. And he gets him back. couple across the plate. We'll go to the bottom of the third, leading 2-1.
The 97999 right now, and the 300th texter will win a $30 gift card to a Subway restaurant in the Chicagoland area. Don't miss out on a Subway triple play promotion. Time now for the Romeo Orthopedic Injury Report. And it is Jake Petrichka, reinstated from the 10-day disabled list. There you look at the numbers, and he'll be a welcome addition to the bullpen. The injury report is brought to you by Dr. Anthony Romeo, a proud member of Midwest Orthopedics at Rush. Go to RomeoOrthopedics.com or call 312-432-2342.
All right, McGill, there it is, buddy. Go get them. You got yourself a 2-1 lead. Top of the order. Kipnis takes the strike. He doubled and scored in the first inning.
Made an excellent play to get Kluber out of what was shaping up to be a very tough inning. Narvaez battled him, almost won the battle. Pretty good idea with the shift on, because if he gets it on the grass, it's a base hit. Kipnis has good speed, but the idea was good. The execution not quite as good.
That's what.
It was that split change, and it's been good. Sailed onto it a little too long on that last pitch.
Two and two. He gone. One out. Hasty.
Kipnis had to be looking somewhere else because he got a fastball. It had the whole plate. And good movement. A strikeout victim, the first of the night for Miguel.
Well, we saw something last night that Steve and I have been talking about. It's and I hate to use this word, but it's very apropos. It's stupid. Absolutely stupid.
Sliding into first base will get you hurt. It doesn't get you there any quicker, and really the only time you might make a case for it is trying to avoid a tag. Not the tag of the bag, but a tag of your person.
And Kevin Kiermaier last night, we talked about how you don't jump into a bag anywhere. And here's what happened last night. Now watch how he jumps into the bag. Well, he's going to miss 2 months because of a fractured hip because of that.
And you can see it there.
And that's a shame because he's just trying to do what he thinks is going to get his team another base hit or another runner, I should say. So, but it's stupid. I mean, they have to be told over and over, you don't dive into head first base. You don't do it. You can fracture a finger, you can break a hand, break a wrist. And in his case, where you jump into a bag like that, you can break an ankle, you can hurt your hip, which he fractured it.
Yeah, you can't really make a case for it because you can't get there quicker by sliding or diving or anything that you would do. Try to get there. The object is to get there more quickly, and that's not the way to do it. Plus, you open yourself up to a lot of injury possibilities, especially head first.
Here's Brantley, an RBI single. Yeah, I feel bad for him. He's a good player, terrific player, really. And he just made a mental mistake. I kept talking to Adam Eaton when we had him. I said, Adam, we don't need you breaking a hand, diving or head first, hands first and head first into first base.
Well, this year he did it by running through the bag, but landed awkwardly, and it's going to cost him the season. And he was playing very well for the Nationals.
Here's the 1-1. 2 out. And 1-2 the count. Yeah, they've got to be told not to do it. There's got to be some sort of consequence for if you do that. A fine or whatever. Fouls that back. 7th game of the World Series. Bob Gibson was pitching. I hit a ground ball to shortstop, and I was running as hard as I could, and I jumped into the bag with my left foot. Well, I hit it right on the corner, got a bone bruise. That was 7th game now, so that game, that's it, last game of the season. As that ball hit hard. Nice job. Attaboy, Jose. He was down, able to position, and made the play, and that'll retire the side. fourth inning, it'll be Anderson, Davidson, and Engel. We're getting back to that 7th game of the World Series when I jumped into first base. I got a bone bruise on my left heel, and for 2 weeks I had trouble walking. I mean, real trouble walking. That's how bad it was. So there's nothing good can happen there.
So if you're going to jump in, you're going to slow yourself down anyway.
That's right. But I was like Kiermaier. I thought I was doing the right thing, and it turned out to be stupid. Anderson went out to right field. Two and one to count. Two runs on 5 hits for us, 1 run on 2 hits for them. Perfect pitch. One out.
When you have both the reputation and the control of Corey Kluber, you're going to get a lot of these. Maybe he had a touch of the outside corner, but he filled up Gomes' glove, and when that happens, almost without exception, pitcher will get the benefit of that call.
Well, one thing about it, he's earned it.
Yeah, he has. And he's had great control for a long time.
Here's Matty, struck out his first trip.
If you were just to take a look at where Kluber sets up, he's on the extreme first base side of the pitching rubber. When you see that, it usually means that a guy has got a good breaking ball and loves to throw it away to the right-handers. And you can see him just about as far as you can get to the first base side and still stay on the rubber.
I used to hate it when pitchers set up out there like that. I loved it when they set up on, being a right-handed hitter, when they set up on the third base side.
What was the sight line, the difference for you?
They looked like they were just coming right at you from that first base side. That's gone. 2 down.
Throws a cutter and no contact.
Well, that at bat right there will show you. In his first at bat, he's trying to cover the plate on it, and that's suicide.
He's not going to throw too many fastballs inside. He's going to go in there to establish that, and when he goes to get you, it's going to be away.
You got to have a plan. You got to have a commitment. You got to commit to one side of the plate or the other on a terrific stuffed pitcher like Kluber. You can't cover the plate. Now, if he hangs it, that's a different story.
You can hit that anyway.
Yeah, anybody. We got 20,000 people in these seats right here can hit a hanger.
Well, they're ecstatic tonight. It's a big crowd, going to be bigger tomorrow, but it's dollar hot dog night. And that, along with the fact that the weekend sales this entire season are terrific for the Indians. They're up over last year.
Well, they should be. They've got a heck of a ball.
Oh, they do indeed.
He did not go. Adam, who singled and scored, he started off that 2-run third. With one right off the end of the bat. Kansas City special into right field. Strikes out the side. And it is still look at that shot. Gio. The 2-1. Sox on top.
A 19-year-old knuckleballing young woman. On Wednesday night, Claire Eccles became the first woman to pitch in the Collegiate West Coast League, coming in relief for the Victoria Harbor Cats. And Eccles, who throws a knuckleball, pitched 2 innings, allowed 1 hit, 2 runs, and a walk. The Orioles' Chris Davis and the Yankees' Jacoby Ellsbury once played in the West Coast League. Left-handed knuckleballer.
Wilbur Wood.
Yep. Wilbur parlayed it into a wonderful career.
Oh, Wilbur. Out of Belmont, Massachusetts. Santana grounded out to Leury. Garcia at second. Yeah, Wilbur, a few youngsters out there. Had a fine career with the White Sox.
He was some pitcher. Pitched both ends of a doubleheader.
I faced him before he had the knuckleball. He was at York in the Eastern League in 1962. And he was mean.
Well, he told me.
Get foul.
Get
foul. It will.
That was way back there. A line drive rocket. But you could tell pretty much as it left the bat, it was going to hook. And it hooked in front of the pole. Wilbur told me he had the best curveball on the team. I said, well, why don't you use it?
He did. He had a great curveball.
Yeah.
But he couldn't get anybody out with that fastball.
There you go. But he became a really good knuckleballer.
Knuckleballers, lost art, and to me it still mystifies me. But Wilbur, yeah, he was. I faced also Phil Negro before he had the knuckleball. He was meat when he was with the Braves as a kid. Sinker slider.
You just don't find many left-handers who even attempt to throw the knuckleball.
No, I'm trying to think of
another one.
Yeah. He gone.
2 strikeouts for Miguel. That's a split change, and it just dives away from Santana, who goes down on strikes.
Let's see. Dalkowski didn't have one. Herb Score didn't have one.
No. Sam McDowell didn't have one.
Sam didn't have one. I can't think of another one.
Neither can I.
Encarnacion popped up. High popped up to Frazier.
The shift is on with Leury on the third base side of second, and the outfield pretty much straight away. And Encarnacion last year. 42 home runs. He drove in 127. But for whatever reason this year, he has not been able to get untracked for the Tribe.
It's not an uncommon thing. It's not when you get a slugger that switches teams. That ball hit hard, but going foul. Thank you very much. For some reason, I'm not saying it happens all the time because it doesn't, but it's not uncommon to see a guy who is a power hitter, a slugger. When they change teams, they go to a new environment, a new city. They have trouble getting acclimated, and they have trouble getting acclimated off the field, and it filters over into on the field.
Well, Toronto was not his first team.
No.
But he came into prominence in Toronto. That's where he became a slugger, although he hit home runs with Cincinnati, not like he did with Toronto. So coming over here, 3 years, $60 million, you have to believe that even though he had been around, he wanted to prove to the Indians fans and to the team that he could really hit. I think it adds pressure.
That's foul. Well, everything is self-induced. And what's the biggest killer of performance?
Pressure.
Pressure.
And so I think once he gets to the point where he realizes I don't have to validate that contract on a daily basis, he will then settle down and be the guy that they thought they were going to get. Maybe not 42 and 127, but it'll still be pretty good.
He might get there again because he's one of the better fastball hitters in baseball. Anytime you can cover a fastball like everyone can, if you can get your head right, you're gonna hit a lot of home runs. That's just fisted. And that's the Kansas City special.
Edwin's not going to get too many infield hits, but this is one of them. Little looper. Leuri's got it, but you might as well not even make that throw. The only thing you can do is get yourself in trouble when you make that throw. Number one, he threw a blooper to first, and Encarnacion, although not very fast, can certainly beat that.
So here's Ramirez. He went out to England center field. Takes breaking ball strike. Big gap in right center. 1 on 1 out. I know when I saw that the Tribe picked up Encarnacion, it did not make me happy.
No, but I also felt at the time he couldn't do that much more than Napoli did. Now, I'm not saying Napoli was going to repeat last year, but last year he was 30 and 100. Pretty stout numbers. The difference with Napoli was that he would go in streaks. If you caught him on a hot streak, he could hit 6 home runs in 10 days.
Yeah, but the big thing about Nike too is it's not what he hit, it was when he hit it.
He was a very, very good clutch hitter for them, and one of the team leaders, and that's not talked about a lot.
Over the years, I have really enjoyed watching Mike Napoli play.
Well, he's hurt right now, but he'll get it back.
One, two. That ball hit hard in the right center field, but we got a man there. That's a hang wolf him. For Ramirez. And Sox fans all season long, when our Sox drive home a run, Uber will make a donation to White Sox Charities. Uber, the official ride share provider of the White Sox and proud supporter of White Sox Charities. Use Uber code SoxFan for $15 off your first Uber ride. My son Casey and a couple of his buddies took Uber from Orlando over to St. Petersburg the other day.
He said it was wonderful.
Well, they could have a few beers during the game and not have to worry about driving back. And because it's an hour and 40-minute ride, and I mean very cheap. That ball hit deep in the left field. Melky now pulls up. They're going to hold Encarnacion on the third. So Chisenhall with a double.
Lonnie's got some big power, and it looked like Melky thought he was going to be able to make that play before realizing that it was going to go over his head. That's a curveball that kind of rolled in the zone, and Chisenhall takes it way back. Melky making sure he doesn't get trapped too close to the wall, and that allowed him to get it back in and freeze Encarnacion at third base.
So here's John Gomes.
Nice call by Mike Sarbaugh, the third base coach, because if he sends him, he's
gone.
He's gone.
Yeah, Uber, that thing is, I tell you got to be, if you can't get a taxi or whatever, you got to be crazy to drink and drive when you got Uber.
No, that's regardless of Uber or anything else. It's a very dumb thing to do.
Yep. Ducks on the pond, 2 down. And that's off the plate.
You'd have to think the conversation from Omar pretty much went, look, you got a veteran hitter and you have a rookie coming up. Zimmer not your average rookie in that he's been swinging the bat pretty well and hit the ball hard the first time, but he hit it right at Leori. He has made a very good throw tonight. That's been his contribution so far to this ball game.
Two and 0. Now in this situation right here, to make a mistake to him is more of a mental mistake. I tell you, he got away with one.
Yeah, that was a cutter that didn't do anything.
He got away with one right there.
The outer third at 86. When a cutter doesn't do anything, it looks like a hanging fastball, and you can see it doesn't do much, but Gomes took it.
He did not go.
Gomes came over from Toronto. He was a backup catcher. When he got here, he quickly showed the Indians that he could be a #1 and is their #1 catcher.
One pitch. On the corner, full count. He still cannot give into it.
No, the overhand hook, we threw it last time. It's a pretty good pitch this time. If you lose him, you get a big but young left-hand hitter coming up.
Gomes has had a couple of good pitches to hit and hadn't done anything with them.
That was another cutter that was in a good spot but didn't do a whole lot. Gomes, one of the few Brazilians to ever play this game in the major leagues.
Second walk issued.
That'll bring Don Cooper out.
And the second walk to Gomes.
This has been a tough spot for the Indians this year. Runners in scoring position and 2 outs. As a team, they're hitting 183. That's 27th in the major leagues. So Don has had his say. Jordan Baker is out there listening to what Miguel has to say to Omar Narvaez. Terry Francona before the ball game talked about, he wouldn't talk about effort, but he talked about the intensity of the ball club. He hasn't been particularly happy the way they have approached a lot of games this year. Most unusual for the Indians, who they just hustled like crazy. And what he said was, look, last year's last year, and nobody's going to give you anything. You've got to bear down and take it away on a daily basis. And he wants his team to get a little more intensity.
Fouls that one away.
This is not the speediest threesome that the Indians could put out there. Zimmer can hit it a long way out of the University of San Francisco.
Yanks that one just foul. Attaboy, Omar.
Omar patted the glove on the ground. He wanted that ball down. He got it down and was able to stop it.
And the count evens at 2.
Omar, the last 2 pitches, patted the ground and got a straight change and a curveball. Wouldn't be a bad idea. Pat the ground again. Maybe somebody, either one of the coaches or whoever, might be giving Zimmer something, but then pat the ground, throw a face-high fastball, and you're probably going to get him. Now the disadvantage is all the runners will be going, and it pretty much takes the force out of the equation.
Payoff pitch. No.
Close, and a heads-up play. A great idea. Get an out without making a pitch. They want to take one more look at it as Joe McEwing is on the phone. To me, like he was back, but We'll see. Leg is in before the tag.
2 out Sox packed with Indians and a 3-2 pitch coming up.
Tried to throw a high fastball by him. That one not quite high enough as Zimmer fouled it off.
And this game is tied at 2.
RBI number 14. Zimmer got it the quiet way. Back-to-back walks.
And here comes double trouble right here. He doubled in the first. He's 1 for 2. And he has been a terrific clutch player for these Indians for a long time now. And Jose in good position right there, makes the play, but they get a run, and we'll go to the 5th, tied at 2. Here in the 5th inning, and a reminder, we have aerial coverage, and it's provided by Goodyear, leading the way with tires that deliver superior performance in clutch situations. Goodyear, more driven. Top of the order for us: Leury, Garcia, Cabrera, and Abreu.
The way Melky has hit Kluber, he's 2 for 2. You'd love to see Leury get on.
Leury 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts. And the count 2-0. Taking some other scores for you. We mentioned that Rockies beat the Cubs 5-3 at Wrigley. Rockies 17 over at 40-23. Cubs 500 at 30-30. That ball hit into left center field. I don't think anybody's going to be able to get that one. That's off the bottom of the wall. And a leadoff double.
Ninth double of the year, and after 2 strikeouts, Leary hit the daylights out of this one. Hits it hard with good speed. He makes it, but pretty good play. Zimmer got the ball in quickly, and that is a good arm, because that shouldn't have been all that close at second base.
Zimmer's already thrown out one runner at home. First time that we've seen him. You gotta like what you see so far.
He's got lots of skills, and he's just starting to figure it out at 24.
So Melky, that infield single, also an RBI double, and he's got a job to do.
It looked like it was going to be a throw to second by Gomes, but the ball dropped out of the glove.
And that's going to be back in the seats.
This has not been a good road trip, but Leary Garcia has certainly enjoyed it. Every game that he's started on this road trip, he's had at least 1 hit. And last night, in a pinch hitting role, did not get a hit. But he has another double, and he's going to be, if he can score, the go-ahead run.
Outfield straight up, spread out a little bit, about equidistant. Zimmer short out there in center field. That will tell you that the young man pretty confident.
There's a veteran fan with a souvenir.
1-2 pitch. That's going to get the job done. So Garcia in the third, 1 out, and here comes Abreu, who's 0 for 1 with a walk and a run scored. Checking a few other scores. Boy, Tampa Bay, Oakland ran into a buzzsaw.
Yeah, Tampa's not missing Kiermaier that much, at least for tonight.
13-0.
I mean, they might miss him, and they will miss him, but not tonight.
Corey Dickerson, 3-run homer. That's his 14th.
We saw him with power to all fields and a swing that generates a lot of power.
I talked to him after the game last night on our way out. Stopped by the Ray clubhouse. He was playing ping pong with his little girl.
Did he win?
And he came over, shook my hand. As the infield now is in. So I told him, I said, Corey, I said, don't change. I said, don't think. Just stay aggressive. He looked at me and smiled. He said, Hawk, I like that.
Well, with those numbers that he's putting up, there's a lot of dollars in this game that will wind up in his account.
I told him, don't outdumb yourself. That's high in the center field because we got good speed, and here's a good arm. Now here he comes, and that's way off the mark, and the Sox lead at 3-2.
Well, Zimmer seemingly set up well, but Apparently having some problems with some wet grass, because I think his foot slipped out and this throw is nowhere near. So he's got everything going for him, but he slips. Well, that's twice. Made one good throw, slipped twice. Trying to deliver the ball home. .33rd driven in by Jose.
That was, I'll tell you, in that situation, when you're just looking for the fly ball, that was a good piece of woodwork by Abreu. Here's Avi. He's 1 for 2.
That's the first sacrifice fly of the year for Jose.
And there is a high pop up. Zimmer. And that'll do it. But the leadoff double. Cabrera gets him over. Abreu knocks him in, and we lead it halfway home 3-2. Here in their half of the 5th inning.
Dollar Dog night. Wonderful night to come to the park.
And Francisco Lindor going out to left and grounded to second. Off the plate, and the count 2-0.
Lindor's power pretty much the same from both sides. 7 and 5, 7 left-handed, where he's had many more at bats, to 5 right-handed.
High pop up to left field. Cabrera. So 1 out. And Sox fans, the 2017 Esurance MLB All-Star Game ballot, well, it's here. So head to whitesox.com/vote to choose your Sox stars and send them to the All-Star Game. And of course, Avi Garcia certainly belongs there. And that's presented by MasterCard. So vote today, vote tomorrow, vote at whitesox.com.
There's another guy that belongs there. Don't know if he'll be picked, but you can do a lot worse than Tommy Kahnle coming in the ball game late for an inning of work in the All-Star game.
Well, we talked about it up front. The team that leads the major leagues. in record when leading after 6 innings of the Chicago White Sox. 20-0.
And Tommy with a 1.52 ERA and very impressive 41 strikeouts in 23 2/3 innings.
Leary. So Brantley is disposed of. 2 down.
It's a nice comeback performance for Miguel Gonzalez after a tough Detroit last time out. Gave up a run in the first inning. He's had 1-1-2-3 inning, that coming in the third, looking for his second here.
So here's Santana. Grounder to second and a strikeout.
Three switch hitters in the lineup tonight, giving Terry Francona a lot of flexibility. Another one of the switch hitters is hurt. Almonte.
Well, Francona, numbers, there's the case where the numbers speak for themselves. 12 consecutive seasons over 500.
Yeah, pretty amazing.
In this culture today in baseball, you better believe it.
Well, especially when he got here the first year, because, you know, coming from Boston, look, he had a terrific team at Boston and he managed them very well. But coming here the first year especially, they weren't a great team by any stretch of the imagination, but they certainly picked up under Terry Francona.
Well, there's one other aspect to go along with those. There is ball 4, so the 2-out walk. One other aspect that comes into play when you say Terry's had 12 consecutive seasons of over 500. You got to say, well, who are his general managers? He's had some good ones.
Yeah, he has.
You can't go 12. You can't go 12 consecutive over 500 seasons unless that general manager or those general managers did a good job.
Well, the young man he has here, Chris Antonetti, is a very good one and going to get better.
Well, he had Theo up in Boston.
Yes, he did. Here's a look at Tommy Kahnle, who is putting together just a remarkable season.
That's a strong young man. Really strong.
Tough to get to 100 miles an hour unless you are really strong.
So here's Edwin, takes first pitch strike.
Dan Jennings continues to throw in the pen.
Edwin's 1 for 2. He had a Kansas City special. Fister right up the middle that nobody could get to. That ball hit deep. And it is 4-3.
That's as far back as you're going to see one here. Home run number 11. 24 driven in, giving the Indians the lead. I've seen him into the first set of trees. I haven't seen too many go into the second set of trees in straightaway center field. That was obliterated.
Well, as we talked about, he's going to get there. A lot of guys go hit that ball out of the ballpark right there, but he's going to get there. He's just too good a hitter. It's just that simple. And when he starts hitting, the rest of these guys in the club are going to start hitting.
Well, he took that one. That looks like 460 feet.
Well, it's a walk. Got him in trouble. Walks. They figured prominently so far in this game. Ramirez is going out to center, going out to right. And there's a base hit. He's going to give it a go, and here's the throw. He gone. No, he missed him.
Looked like the throw beat him, and Ramirez with an unusual, unorthodox slide to get him out of the way of the tag. We'll take another look. He's got 2 on his mind when he left the batter's box. This is going to take Miguel Gonzalez out of the game. The throw is a pretty good one, but he's in before the tag, and Tim was trying to keep the glove on him to see if he'd come off the bag, and he didn't.
Very close play. Just a little bit off the mark was the throw. So Miguel will depart, and we'll be back.
Jennings, and he inherits Ramirez at second base. He's on for the 28th time. He's 2-1. His ERA 4.37. 15 strikeouts, but the 11 walks in 22 2/3. Something he's got to work on, and he's going to deal with Lonnie Chisenhall with 2 outs here in the 5th inning.
Chisenhall has gone out to left, and he's doubled to left. Ramirez at second with 2 down. That'll get the job done. Tim makes the catch, but the tremendous Stoney was right. I've never seen one go that far in that direction, and they lead it 4-3.
True Chicago fans.
We trail it by 1 here in the 6th inning. Frazier, Narvaez, and Anderson. Todd has walked, and he also has an RBI single. Takes first pitch strike. One and one to count.
Pitch number 86 on the way.
One and two the count.
That was one of the better breaking balls that Kluber's thrown tonight. He does have a complete game. This will not be his second. He's not going to be allowed to throw that many pitches.
Well, he's got that kind of slider that's just devastating in the respect that once it starts, it doesn't stop. It just keeps digging. A lot of guys will flatten out on him. Not his.
A very tight spin. It's tough to pick it up out of his hand.
Good check right there. Nice little technique.
That would have been a very easy one to go down on strike.
Oh, sure.
Most guys would have.
Good piece just to stay alive.
Time for the Giga Time high-speed replay, powered by Xfinity, the future of awesome. And there's a base hit to center field. Made it 2-1 at the time. Zimmer, who's fallen down a couple of times, that was the first of his falls. And Jose scoring a run.
Well, I was really happy last night to see Todd hit that home run in front of his parents. Parents, if you missed that game, that's a fair ball. His parents look like his brother and his sister.
I got a chance to talk with them before the ball game, and they came from Toms River, New Jersey. Anytime you get a chance to see your son play in the major leagues, and they've had a few opportunities to do that, but it's nice he came up with 3 hits, including a bomb to center field.
So here's Narvaez. He's gone out to center and he's grounded to second. Yeah, that's one of the biggest thrills I've ever had. My mom, who was divorced when I was very young, single parent, raised me. She drove from Savannah to Kansas City, and at the time she came up, I was in a big slump. And we were playing the Tigers, and they had a big curveball out there. Julio Navarro had a big curveball. Well, don't you know he hung me one?
That's a thrill.
And that was one of the greatest thrills I ever had. My mom, first game she saw me play in the big leagues, to hit a home run. And that is out number 2.
Carson Fulmer throwing it real well through the 5 innings he worked. Juan Moncada, home run in the 5th, his 7th. He's just coming back from a thumb injury, so he's starting to heat it up. And Charlotte leads 3-0. That game in the 8th inning in the International League.
Anderson 0 for 2. You know, and that my mom stayed up there and for about a week, then left, had to drive back to Savannah by herself. Then they started platooning me, and then I didn't play for a while because I went back into my funk, you know.
She should have stayed.
There's a base hit. That boy, Timmy. So what happened was she got home and she saw there for about a week I didn't play, and she wrote Charlie Finley a letter. And the reason I know this because Charlie showed me the letter. You know what she told her? She says, "If you're not going to play my son, you send him back home to me."
That's a good plan.
Yeah,
that usually works.
But Charlie thought that was the greatest thing he'd ever seen. He called me up. He said, "Come to my office. I want to show you something." So here's Davidson. He's had a tough time on the slants of Kluber. A couple of strikeouts.
Good lead at first. That wasn't his best move. He's got a better one than that. And with that lead that Tim has got, he's got to be careful because Kluber will pick you off.
Yeah, he's guessing strike up. He's trying to cover the plate. Can't do it.
Andrew Miller starting to loosen.
That's bad news.
Never an encouraging sign for the opposition when the big left-hander gets up.
Watch out.
Well, there's a couple of reasons why it's not an encouraging sign. Number one, when Andrew Miller comes in the game, almost without exception, the Indians have the lead. Also, there's not a whole lot of people that hit him very well. That might be an understatement this year. .33 ERA. But for Kluber, anything other than that hard slider.
Well, he's 0-2 and he hadn't even come close to swinging a strike.
If he throws anything but the slider here, there should be an investigation.
The old saying, isn't it? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Come on, Matt. All right. Go to the bottom of the sixth, trailing by 1. Inning. 4-6-0 for their guys, 3-7-0 for our guys. Gomes, Zimmer, then back to the top of the order with Kipnis. Face Dan Jennings. Gomes can't get it. He has been in the plate twice, walked twice. So the line on McGill, 4 2/3, 4 runs earned, 4 walks. 4 walks. That, and they figured prominently in this game so far. 2 strikeouts.
Anthony Swarzak loosening in the pen. And apparently big weather cell in the area because, as Jimmy Angio, our director, told us, the lady who was in charge of the blimp decided to send it a little further north from here because of that strong cell that's supposed to be here anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes.
Watch out. One ball, 2 strikes. And check some scores for you. Bottom of the 8th inning at PNC. Miami leading Pittsburgh 12-4. Bottom of the 9th in Washington. Texas leading the Nasty Nats 5-1. Bottom of the 7th at Fenway 3-2 Detroit. Tampa Bay leading Oakland 13-2. Bottom of the 7th at Tropicana Field. Here you go. So 1 out, and Sox fans join us as our Sox take on the Baltimore Orioles on June 15th at 1:10. Now it's free T-shirt Thursday, and the first 10,000 fans will receive a 1917 World Series tee presented by the Village of Bedford Park. So bring your business home to Bedford Park and win big. Purchase your tickets today by visiting WhiteSox.com or calling 866-SOX-GAME. Breaking ball strike to Zimmer. Got a big at bat. Back in the 4th. Saved a run earlier in the game with a beautiful throw from center field. One and 2 the count. Some other scores. Yankees leading Baltimore 6-2 in the Bronx. That's in the bottom of the 7th. Top of the 7th in Atlanta, 2-1 Braves over the Mets. Angels leading Houston 5-2. It's amazing, Angels hanging around that 500 mark with all the injuries that they have. And Seattle doing the same thing with all the, when you lose your first 4 starters and you're still hanging around that 500 mark on June 9th, that's not too shabby.
No, they've actually done a very nice job considering what they've had to go through.
Rockies beat the Cubs 5-3 at Wrigley. Rusin over Frankoff. Greg Holland is 23rd save. He gone. 2 down.
One of the biggest problems that Zimmer had in the minor leagues was left-handed breaking balls. Now, that's not unusual for young left-hand hitters, but he changed his stroke a little bit and actually is making more contact against the left-handers, although the slider of Jennings that time was a mystery to him.
Well, what's going to determine these young left-handed hitters against left-handed pitching, and the way to improve that is where they stand in the box. It's amazing the changes you can make by moving around in that box until you find out what's the best approach to hit the left-hander, or if you're a right-handed hitter, to hit those tough right-handers. It's like some of our guys tonight against Kluber. You're not going to do anything with that slider and that curveball unless he hangs it, of course. So for you to try to cover the plate on him is like suicide. You got to pick one side or the other, and it's got to be off the fastball. And the best way to make him throw you a fastball, stand right on top of the plate. There, the chopper up the middle. Good play by Leary. Gets him. Nice inning for DJ, and we're into the 7th.
Are all that important when a team is rebuilding like the Sox are.
Win-loss matters all the time, because if you're going to set a low bar for anybody that you're trying to help develop and compete, it's counterproductive. If you don't set high bars for people to compete and to go and excel, I think you're doing yourself a disservice, because you don't learn how to win. You certainly don't learn how to understand when you lose a ball game, because there are lessons to be learned from every opportunity that you have, whether you lose or win.
That man right there, Sox fans, that you just saw, is the man going forward to lead this organization.
And Andrew Miller comes in the ball game for the 26th time. As you can see, it's almost been ridiculous. .33 ERA, 40 strikeouts, 5 walks.
Same thing now. You got to go with this guy. How are you going to approach him? You try to cover the plate on Andrew Miller with that slider he's got to the right-handers now and then. You're gone. You're dead. And the only way you can take it away from him is back off the plate. We talked about, there's a shot, base hit. That boy. Adam is 2 for 3. The only way you can take that slider away is by back, if you're a right-hander, backing off the plate and beat him to right field or up the middle. You can't cover that slider down and in the fastball away. Only thing is you know, being a pitcher and facing those big, strong right-handers, a lot of guys can't stand on top of the plate.
No, and guys just don't move. They're not going to move. They get a spot they're comfortable, and that's where they're going to be.
Yeah. Good concept.
Would have been a terrific bunt with a left-hander, especially one that falls off like Miller does. They usually fall off the mound to the third base side. You push it right at the second baseman. More times than not. Not only will the sacrifice be successful, but you get a real good chance at a base hit.
Outfield straight up, spread out, not equidistant. And Adam better watch out. He's got a big lead over there. That's going to get the job done. So Leury, nice bunt.
It's a perfect bunt. No play at second at all as Santana comes in, doesn't even bother looking at second, and Leury gets the job done. So the tying run with big speed out at second base.
All right, let's watch where Kipnis is going to play right there. I'm going over fairly close because if you're going to try to steal, use it in this situation with that speed that Ingles got.
He's got a stolen base tonight, and he's 4 for 4 for the year.
Well, and the best time to go, according to Kipnis, is going to be on the first pitch. But Kipnis got over there. He was fairly close.
Elke's had a good night, a couple of hits and a productive out. That was in the 5th inning. Erie started out with a double, and a little tapper moved him to third. He eventually scored on the sacrifice fly.
1-1 to count.
South can push across a run. It'll be the second earned run Miller's given up all year. Had a backdoor slider that time, but missed with it.
Flattened that on him a little bit.
Six, 7 is Andrew Miller. You have a slider like that, and you can pump it up to 97, 98 as he can. It is a challenge, and a challenge that Miller won on the high heat.
Well, you're not going to cover a slider down in the end and fastball up and away.
No. Let's have to hope he misses with it.
That's why he's a major league pitcher. Good major league pitchers get you out most of the time. And you got to understand that. Watch out. Ouch.
If it got him on the knee, he's going to be feeling that for a while, and he's still down. He's pointing right on the outside of the left knee. Ricky's calling for a couple of bigger guys to come on out and help him, and that got him right on the point of the left knee. And he's having a hard time getting back.
Got him just a little bit below the point, just on the high shin there, it looked like. Oh boy. As tough as he is, you know how bad that thing's got to be hurt.
Yeah, because I mean he hurt himself in Tampa, refused to come out of the ball game. But here he's got no choice. So Yolmer comes out, He's going to run for him at first.
Hopefully that's all it is, just a bad bruise. So here is Avi. He's 1 for 3. Outfield straight up. 2 on, 2 out.
Miller does something that the good pitchers will do. He changes speeds on that slider.
Hitters hate that.
Yep. You can guess slider, you just can't guess the velocity.
Another slider.
He's got 97 sitting in his back pocket for a high fastball. That's exactly how he struck out Melky.
Good job by Gomes.
That was a tough ball to handle, and Yan Gomes smothered it. It trickled out maybe a foot in front of him. Very nice job. This puts both runners in scoring position if he can't handle that.
All right, 7th inning stretch. They lead it 4-3.
Official White Sox debit card only available at your local Wintrust Community Bank. Go to wintrust.com/White Sox to learn more. Wintrust Community Bank, member FDIC. So Yomer, who came in a pinch run, takes over at third base. That sends Todd Frazier across the diamond to play first base, as Abreu is gone, and if we get an update, we will let you know.
Well, Yomer last night, if you missed that game, bases loaded, hit a rocket to Robertson at second base. He made a good play on it. And then in reality, that probably saved the game for Tampa Bay. Yomer hit it right on the buddy. Lindor twice has gone out to left and once has grounded to Leury at second.
Dan Jennings' last performance was brilliant. 2 perfect innings. and he's picking up tonight where he left off.
That ball hit right at him. Oh boy, what a nice recovery. It took off. He stayed with it. What a nice play by Adam Engel.
That ball just accelerated, and Adam with a look on his face like, I got saved on that one. The Danley's defensive play is this. He goes up and takes what would have been most likely an inside the park home run away. When you think garages, think Danley's 773 garages.
This got pretty good on that one.
Yes, he did.
Wow.
He had to.
Yeah.
That was a rocket.
Isn't it amazing what adrenaline can do?
Well, I think when he came in and measured the catch and then realized it was getting higher and not dropping.
That's a can of corn there. Bradley. 2 down.
Jake Petrichka loosening up in the pen. Nice to have him back. And hopefully that's the last we'll see of the injuries for Jake, who was hurt last year and this year. But when he's healthy, he's a huge addition to the bullpen.
Well, when you lose Jake and you lose Nate,
Zach
you
Putnam.
lose Zach.
Yeah.
I mean, 3 of your big guys out there at that pen, and still have the pen do the job they've done. Headed up by Swarzak, Canely, and David Robertson's back.
His curveball this year is as good as it's been in a long time.
Oh boy, he's back. Yes, sir, those guys have done yeoman work out there. Santana 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. Takes the strike. You know, we were talking earlier about Wilbur Wood being a left-handed knuckleballer. And knuckleballers, as all baseball fans know, are staff savers. Back on July 20th, 1973, Wilbur Wood started both games of the doubleheader in Yankee Stadium.
I was there.
And lost both games.
I was there. Yes, indeed. That's the year that Wilbur had already lost 20-some games, and Stan Bonson was also on that staff. And so he had lost 19, and he went up to Johnny Sain. He said, how many starts do I have left? He said, none. He said, well, I'm looking at it. It's either 2 or 3, one or the other. He goes, no, you're not listening to me. You have no starts left. Not only do you have no starts left, you're not going to get close to a decision, because I'm not going to be a pitching coach that has 2 20-game losers on the same team. So Bonson wound up not getting near a decision with 19 losses, and Wilbur lost over 20 that year.
Good club, huh?
Yes.
He gone. Good. Another good inning for DJ, and we're into the 8th.
Indians lead by a run despite being out hit. Our Sox 8-6, errorless game. Kluber went 6, threw the ball pretty well with 8 strikeouts. Encarnacion, the difference maker, a 2-run homer in the 5th inning, and Dan Jennings has been brilliant. Great deals waiting for you now at your local Honda dealers.
Here's Ty to walk, an RBI single, and a little ground out in front of the plate as he takes ball 1. 30,043 in attendance. Pull it off that one. He knows it.
Miller began his career with the Detroit Tigers. He was a starting pitcher after being drafted #1 by the Florida Marlins, being traded to Detroit.
Made his first start against us.
Yeah, he was brilliant. I just felt at that point, because he threw so drastically, and I saw that first start, he threw so drastically across his body that as a starting pitcher I didn't believe he would hold up, and he did get hurt. And then they put him in the bullpen. Of course, the rest is history. If he's not the best left-handed reliever in baseball, he's in the top 2.
Remember after that game talking with AJ Pierzynski, AJ said, "Hawk, that man's got Nintendo stuff."
Unbelievable. And very deceptive because he threw across his body. But being a starting pitcher at one point in his career now comes in very handy for him, because Terry Francona doesn't think twice about bringing him in the 7th inning and sometime letting him go.
Well, Terry, best today. Got him. Boy, he just worked him over right there. That's where you just go back to that dugout. Now, Todd's hiding himself. He didn't like to take the call, but Jordan Baker's had a great game behind the plate.
It's a backdoor slider, and after looking at pitches inside and all of a sudden you see that one, you just have to hope you get the benefit of the call. He didn't, and life's going to get a lot of guys with that.
You can be upset, but you got to understand that guy and that at bat was just better than he was. So here is Kevin Smith hitting for Omar.
He had a good fastball to swing at on the inner portion, just fouled it off.
And a reminder, MLB.com @bat is your #1 mobile app for live White Sox baseball. You can stay connected with a fully customizable experience. Now get White Sox home screen icons and app features, as well as game day, live game video highlights, radio broadcast, statcast news, and more. So download MLB.com @bat. Do it today.
Put some life on that fastball tonight.
But today, the first responsibility of a manager after you get your team assembled is protecting that bullpen and knowing how to use that bullpen. It's not the starters anymore. For 100 years, it was the starters he had to protect. Now it's the bullpen.
Because of throwing across his body, meaning from a left-hander, he'll step drastically toward the first base side. That gives you a lot of deception to go with just great stuff. That's 3 strikeouts in a row, and 4 in an inning and 2/3.
Well, that's 12 altogether. Kluber and Miller. And here's Anderson. He's 1 for 3.
Well, I know Tim doesn't think about it too much, but You got Ramirez way back at third. They're giving you a base hit on a bunt, and with his speed, nice to get on.
Well, I like to see him swing away right here, down 1 run.
Thinking he can hit it out?
Thinking, hoping he can hit it.
Yep.
Get a mistake or something to hit it out. That live bat he's got, he can get out here as quick as anybody.
Him's got 6 of them, and a base hit tonight in 3 at-bats.
Got to understand, if you hit that slider down and in, you're going to hit it off your leg, or you're going to hit it foul if you hit it hard.
Andrew Miller has not given up a home run this year. Maybe he'll hang one of those sliders. Todd Frazier is certainly hoping for it.
Has popped up. Kipnis. All right. Another 1-2-3 inning, and we still trailing by 1.
By visiting WGNTV.com and click on the Game Zone for the latest stats and information. Dot Camera, family owned and celebrating their 125th anniversary. Dot Camera, where the focus is on you. Let's take a look at our Dodge upcoming schedule. 2 more here in Cleveland, then the road trip ends. 4 against Baltimore at home before heading on the road again to Toronto and Minnesota. See your authorized Dodge dealer to experience a world of performance, design, and fuel efficiency. Go to Dodge.com and check out our powerful lineup. And Jake Petrichka comes in the ball game. Good to see him back. The reemergence of Jake, fresh off the DL, and an opportunity here to hold him right there, which is something they have to do with undoubtedly Cody Allen coming in the ball game, and Kevin Smith stays in the game behind the plate.
Here's the man to put him up top. Edwin Encarnacion. It was a bomb. There's his 3rd hit.
In the 5th inning, our 4th drive of the game is a titanic blast. They say 4:30, but that's grossly underestimated. Visit your local Ford store, buyfordnow.com.
I wish some of these guesstimators were lumber salesmen.
Well, it's 400 to straightaway center. When you look at the second of the series of trees back up there, it's hard to believe they had it 30 feet from the fence to those second trees.
It's ridiculous.
he hit that ball a mile.
It's ridiculous. Pinch runner Daniel Robertson.
We get back-to-back Daniel Robertsons. He had one in Tampa Bay, and now pinch running here in Cleveland. Well, he got here quickly.
First of 3 against these Indians. Tomorrow's game will be on Fox. And then Sunday's game on CSN Chicago. One pitch. And there's the base hit. Robertson's going to pull up at second. And a reminder, the first 25,000 fans at each game receives a Merck's cheese spread game card. Good for savings on delicious Merck's cheese in the deli or the dairy case at your local grocer. So the White Sox save on Merck's cheese. Some fans have all along. So purchase your tickets at whitesox.com or call 866-SOX-GAME.
Sox bullpen up and going. And it is Chris Beck.
And here's Chisenhall. He's 1 for 3, a double to left field. Trouble of brewing, 2 on, nobody out.
Jake throws good sinkers, and double play would look awfully good right now. Chisenhall's done it 4 times this year.
Count evens at 1. Trouble. It is 5-3.
Chisenhall hit the daylights out of that one. His second double of the night, drives in his 24th, and it's a 2-run lead, and still some problems here in the 8th. As Jake has come off the DL, and the Indians have greeted him rather rudely.
Yeah. Yes, here comes Coop. No Kansas City specials in those three.
No. So Jordan Baker is going to amble out to the mound and try to break this up.
Well, we can't blame it on the umpire tonight.
No, the umpire's been good.
Real good. It's a good crew. So here's Gomes.
Got a report on Abreu, a bruised left leg. He's going to be reevaluated tomorrow.
And there's a bullet. And it's 7-3.
RBI's 14 and 15. Four straight hits, 4 straight ropes. And this fastball tattooed to left field. Just coming back off the DL, Jake just doesn't have any sink on it tonight. And what normally would be ground balls with no sink turns into line drives.
And here is Zimmer. Can't get it upstairs. Just tuning in, pitchers of record are the starters. Kluber and Miguel Gonzalez. Only thing Miguel would really like to take back are those 4 walks.
Yeah, unfortunately, they helped do him in, and then of course Encarnacion has been swinging it better. We had heard that, and certainly has shown it tonight.
Yeah, well, that's caught, and that's going to be double play. Well, he's going to hit. It's just that simple.
Yeah. And we don't want lost in the translation or diminish the effect that Dan Jennings has had the last 2 times out tonight. 2 1/3 brilliant innings. 2 1/3 perfect innings. So that's 4 1/3 in the last 2 outings of perfect baseball from Dan Jennings.
Well, he's good. Dan's good. Our bullpen has been terrific. I think if really the only thing that's disappointed me is in this season has been the defense overall.
Yeah, that's not been good.
No, it has not. And you know, the first rule in baseball is you got to catch the ball. You can't give other teams 28, 29, 30 outs when you get in 27. Not in the major leagues. You might do it and get away with it in the minor leagues, but not in the major leagues. They can probably beat you. That's popped up. But some damage is done. And we'll go to the 9th. We're in trouble.
For Smart Thermostat with built-in Alexa voice service and room sensor, make your home work. And who's hot and who's cold? Jonathan Scope, red hot in 14 games, 5 home runs, 13 driven in. Trevor Plouffe struggling, 0-for-2, just 1 for 24 in the last 9 games. Cody Allen comes into ball game, non-save situation, courtesy of the 3 runs in the 8th, but he'll take it. And he was loosened up. There he put him in. His ERA terrific at 2.38, on for the 24th time. He does have 14 saves and 15 opportunities.
So here's Matt. Matt 0 for 3 tonight. And that pitch upstairs. Let's give him a finish, Matt. Come on, start us off. Seven, 10, and 0 for them. 3, 8, and 0 for us. Don't help him out.
It's the time to get to the closers. A non-save situation. Let's attack a couple of runs on him. Make him throw a few more pitches than he would like, which might make it more difficult the next couple of games.
That one at 96. Cody out of Orlando, Florida. Hotbed for Major League prospects. Chases ball 4. That's one pitch that Matt has got to learn how to lay off of. He just can't lay off of it. High pop up into center field. 1 out.
Indians drafted Allen in the 23rd round in 2011, so not highly thought of. Number 698, the 698th player chosen in that draft, and yet here he is. Last 2 years, last year 34 and 32 saves in consecutive years.
Major league closers. There is Adam Engel with a strike. Adam 2 for 3 tonight. Made a heck of a catch. Vicious line drive. And that's high into center field. So quickly 2 out.
The last 4 years for Cody Allen, his ERA has been below 3 each and every one of the years. The best year by far, 2014, 2.07. And he averages right around 72, 73 appearances per year.
Yeah, Cody out of Boone High School down there. They put out a few. Parker Mines, Joe Oliver, Mike Moroth, Paul Wilson. And of course John Hart. He was a coach at Boone High School.
Pretty good program.
They got a lot of good programs. Steve Boone, Dr. Phillips, Popka, Zach Greinke out of Popka, Blue Darters. Two and 0. 2-1. There's base hit. That a boy Leary. Picks up his second hit. Let's go. You never know. You never know in this game.
At the very least, if you make him throw more pitches than he usually would throw, that could come into play in the next couple of games. So, you know, battle each and every at bat. You never know what happens.
Well, the residual effects of coming back in the ninth, even when you're down 4 coming in, is that.
Yeah.
If they got the closer in there to get an inning of work when they're most vulnerable, as you alluded to earlier. Plus, it gives your your offense a little momentum. Cabrera's 2 for 4. So he'll go into second in difference.
You get Yolmer in the on-deck circle when Abreu left. Yolmer came on to pinch run, and he'll have an opportunity if Melky can keep it alive for his first at bat of the night.
Well, if you missed it, Abreu was smoked in that left leg. And for that man to react like he did, you know it was bad as far as pain goes.
Yep.
No 2. Yeah, that's the most pain I've ever seen Jose Abreu exhibit in a White Sox uniform. If you missed it, here it is. Poof.
Andrew Miller on a hard slider. Got him right on the outside of the knee.
Get by him. Get by him. They get him.
Well, you only
and this
get
ball game.
You only get 3 outs.
Over. All right. We dropped the first one. Are they going to contest it? No, they're not.
I would think they're going to take a look at it.
Well, hopefully they will, because we've got nothing to lose.
Yep. Looked to me like he was safe at first base. And we'll have to see. We'll slow it down. Melky hustling with everything he's got. Nope, he's out. He is out.
So they are going to look at it because I say we got nothing to lose.
That's it.
He's out. All right, we'll be back.